Well, hello everyone. You have right here. I'll talk about with cars. Right here. For Pixar's Cars 3, and I have this arranged right here for anybody who's warrant to where that yeah, that have an account right here. And I know that nowadays it seems like you even have to have an account. Even if you're trying to buy bath soap or maybe bath towels or something like that. I'm like anything that maybe you can use around at home or somewhere like that, or anything else for what you call for shopping around, doing these sorts of shopping, for like window shopping or some sort. But you have right here, have right these cars characters right here. So I know that even if it is maybe coloring a picture online, or if it's anything related to any other sorts of activities or some sort, and I know even watching TV and doing that some sorts of stuff that you're going to have these features such as to where you have passwords, and then if you want to maybe watch a Blu-ray or something like that. But anyway, so yeah, that if you're going to be, let's just say that if there's going to be any children, maybe younger the age of 10, what's the best ways of how to explain to them about, what and having an online account would be. And I can see more likely it's just to where that most parents would explain to them with a video game, actually. Yeah, with a video game. If they're going to be getting on their Nintendo Switch and maybe if they're going to be playing a video game and they're going to go ahead and complete the on TV application and be able to register, that sorts of stuff. But anyway, talk about right here with like with the Cars characters that you have Mater right here and all, this a few other characters. But still, though, they have right here, I'll talk about with passwords though. So in case if somebody were warned, or in case if any child were warned to where that if they're going to have to create a password, then about it would have to be something that they can remember. So it's like a key. And I know that most children will want to word that, yeah, if they can remember to word that having to memorize a locker combination was pretty difficult. But let's just say that maybe if it was related to a bot that, just to be able to authorize to have access to the account from a video game and maybe even from a smartwatch or maybe a smartphone or some device like that. So yeah, that if you're going to be doing it, a lot of stuff online, they have an account, and so yeah, that in case of any kids that may want to were listening to listen to music, especially if you're going to be one to turn the radio on and listen to music, and then if you go ahead and register online, and they're going to ask you if you have an account or not. So the first thing, besides going to the World Wide Web, is to ask you if you have an account, and then that's usually the question they ask you right here. Is like if you have an account, and then please set your username and password, and maybe that if there's another login way, like just for security purposes. So it seems like that a lot of the stuff that about how old were you whenever you were first introduced to it, maybe a lot of the adults can maybe say that that they didn't start using a lot of the stuff until that it was acquired from their job, or maybe that if they got in cable TV and then they start watching the on-demand specials or something like that over the TV or something like that. But you have right here, this right here would be example right here of a password right here. So yeah, that with the password right here, that this right here would look like, whenever it say that whenever you enter a password, it's supposed to be a password that you enter, so for just for verification purposes. And so in case of anybody that may want to word it, maybe why they don't have something like that, maybe for a driver's license, if you're going to be maybe besides the taxes, a driver's license. And so in case of kids may want to word it, but between the bubble bath with racing though, let's just say if you had to do about the same thing, maybe for a driver's license, and you'll likely say, what's the best ways of how to explain to anybody who asks, if it's children or anybody, that if they had this online account stuff for a driver's license. And sometimes it seems like that, whenever you put your makeup on, then it's basically that, that's like what you call with artists you do. say that yeah, that's their way of how to where that they can actually yeah, just for security purposes and all that, but still. Did I know if that was if we had that ability, then maybe that it would be which cause like a not accurate because they say that whenever you're going to be setting an account, that basically gives you access to where that you can do about the same thing. You have 24-hour access. You have 24-hour access to a lot of stuff online compared to if you're going to be going to the local the local offices or somewhere like that, or maybe calling the numbers, and their hours are usually between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or so, and but still that they usually say you can go online just to be able to check out the information, stuff like that. But I have right here for summer of 2023, and I keep thinking too that there is going to be maybe the sequel or maybe the what you call the pre-release stuff, for cars right here. So that's what that is, for 2023. And so does that basically mean that maybe that possibility that maybe that there's going to be what you call that yeah, most kids would have that to where that they would have this activity book to where that they can go ahead and go online from their smartphone and be able to set their password and security key and as well as a secret message or something like that. But I have right here for Blu-ray right here. So yeah, Blu-ray. Blu-ray, which you call it 3D, and then Blu-ray would be the most common source of entertainment that we see nowadays as far as watching movies and all that. And then have right here for sleeping and upgrade. So I know that upgrades though, that sometimes those upgrades are installed automatically. So let's just say if you power on your device, or maybe if you put it in sleep mode, put your smartphone on sleep mode, and there's going to be updates going on, upgrades. And so that possibly would mean is to where that you will be getting messages on the phone, try and verify your correct information, and your most recent purchases especially. And any kids out there who's maybe want to maybe buy any Disney movies or Disney music, then they're gonna say that anything in their inventory that they're gonna maybe be getting these messages saying something such as please verify your logging information and all that. But still though that really, in case if somebody were maybe says to where most parents, they say that what do you think should be the most concern out of the whole purpose about having an account? About how many points and credits and maybe how much money that you have in an account, or find out about the content on there, about the responsibility as well, but the content on there, exactly what exactly are you using the account for? So I know that yeah, having an account in case of any kids that may want to were that having an account is not really what you call the same thing as maybe buying a comic book, from the local bookstore. I'm like, from the store or anywhere like that. I'm like, we're talking about it's basically having your own key access to yeah, that you're having your own ability to work and shop and post comments. I'm like, I say that's that's the type of stuff say in case of anybody that may want to where exactly what's the best way of how to describe it. Having your own ability to where you can do the same things, and I'm sure most parents back whenever they were young that yeah, getting your own TV set, getting your own TV set that you were able to watch TV right from your own home, or maybe that anywhere else that you're going to be watching TV, having your ability from the remote control to watch whatever stations that you wanted. But having an account though, having an account I guess is another way of how you want to say is to where that you'll be able to have access at your own time. So let's just say if it is maybe buying a bubble bath or maybe checking into that maybe the streaming stations or something like that. And I know that I can see Disney doing something more like that to where that yeah, that whenever you see those advertisements, even in the catalogs, even from the emails, that a lot of times it's posted on there about streaming technology. So if you're going to have an account, it's basically that yeah, that the difference between plugging in the video game and turning the TV on, it basically gives you more control over what's where the location, where you can browse to, that sorts of stuff. But anyway, if any sorts of way of how you want to explain it would also be about as to where if you're going to have an account, and want to know too that if you're going to have an account, is it the same way? Is it basically the same thing as trying to solve a crossword puzzle? Whenever you're trying to solve a crossword, try to figure out what letters go into which boxes, just to be able to complete a word of so far saying. But anyway, but you have right here is these cars right here, and I know, that I put this right here. Besides the words and symbols, so I put the moon right here just because that even though if it is 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, that you still have the ability to where you can have access to your account, and if you got update something or if anything, maybe continue playing the game. So at your own time, you can log into that account, but I can tell any kids here that, I was only about maybe 11, 12 years old whenever I first got my own account. But, you may not use it as much, but at the time, it seems like a lot of stuff that's going up online nowadays. And at the time that you were too, that you had to get a lot of your training, from you say that anything that you didn't quite understand, that you had to talk to somebody who knew a lot about it. So it seems like that whenever you have an account, that it's also meaning buys us to where that you pretty much take up responsibility for what goes on that account and anything that you're doing with that account, all that. So it's like. So nowadays, it's like, do you really have to be 18 or older, just to be able to be registered for an account? But I just really think that, if anything, that there are some accounts that you don't have to be 18 or older, but you may be limited to choices, for depending on whatever, on what pack, I'm like, for what account that you have, if you have a premium or if you just have the basic or if you just have, the free access or something like that. There's 3 or 4 different types of accounts that you can sign up for, but that you can set. But I could say too that that whenever you're going to be having an account, I guess if you want to kind of call that to where that you pretty much have access to this from maybe from a bedroom or something like that. So it's a. Can we describe maybe an account on like maybe iTunes or something like that as another way of how you want to say that you go in there and buy music, but then that's really all what you use it for. But still nowadays it seems like that you have to have an account to do a lot of your shopping, and if you're going to have a lot of shopping to do, maybe if it's for educational reasons, and let's just say if you're going to be going into the store, maybe to buy a calendar. You buy a calendar with one of your favorite Disney characters on there, and they say for more information or check out more activities. So a lot of this new technology that they got available online nowadays that they use, and so that's why that just say is to where that what's the best way of how you want to describe. It's like while you were sleeping that there's been upgrades, but I don't think that any kids should really think about it as to where that especially at night while they're sleeping, that for any updates are going on, from what all that needs to be done. But still though, that I just really think though that just keeping you posted about the latest events and the latest products. I'm like that especially around the holidays, around Christmas time, or any sorts of special sales going on, that you're going to see those in the advertisement on it. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Talk about right here. I've talked about that for accounts right here. Let's say Cars Characters.